Warning, this podcast contains graphic language. What's going on in sales? What's going on out there, MGTOW? What's going on in the ministry? You right here, Kendall Rican Podcast. One of the hottest shit on the block. The block is hot like shit. Literally, I'm right here in the Pacific Northwest, just podcasting it up all across the world. You name it, from New Zealand to Australia to the UK. All the bloods out here. They show me some love, write some comments and shit like that, you know. I'm right here in the Pacific Northwest trying to survive this bullshit and nonsense that's going on for quite some time. But no further ado, this is your first time in the shit show. Guess what? It is a motherfucking shit show. It is a shit show. That's what I do. I express myself, my First Amendment, and I just point different point of views and stuff like that. So guess what? Shotgun to the dome for you fellas out there listening on the radio, driving at the grind and stuff like that. I hope that I can bring a little bit of peace of mind to you, and you know, like yourself and myself, that I'm just a man going my own way, but I also mean that I can express myself and do different point of views of the Western society functioning or not functioning, because that's what it is. You know, I'm a philosopher. So no further ado, let's start with a little bit of intro here, and then I'm gonna kick it up with a little bar, and then I'm gonna get into this nonsense out there with these so-called so-called these TikTokers out there. They talk about women and their vagina and shit like that. So buckle up, gentlemen. Sit back, relax, enjoy the intro, and we're going to get in the conversation in a minute. And just bear with me because I'm dealing with very, very low budget shit. My gig is not a YouTuber or anything like that, but I know how to make videos, I know how to edit videos, and I know how to make podcasts and broadcast it all across the world, baby. So no further ado, let's start with the intro, then I'm going to kick it up with bar. Let me twist this thing up real quick.
And the feminists that employ it is by far the most odious form of oppression, not just for men, but for women as well. Now, don't get me wrong. Men suffer far more under the iron curtain of Marxist feminism, but for some odd reason, women seem to be more miserable than ever. And that's because the worst thing Western women could have done is to bog themselves down in the tar pits chasing the feminist fantasy that speaks to the very worst parts of the female psyche. Indeed, the entire reason that women have been such a privileged class throughout history is because only the good parts of her nature were displayed openly in society for everyone to see. Feminism, for the first time possibly in recorded history, has allowed Western women to show their true nature, and it's the worst possible thing they could have done for themselves, because now the physical beauty of women comes as a double-edged sword of documented and well-known unbridled greed, manipulation, and toxicity. And not since the days of Samson and Delilah have men been so keenly aware of the destruction and havoc women can visit upon them. And so now, women can no longer fetch the admiration and devotion of men in any meaningful way. Men aren't amazed or awestruck.
Oh, I gotta stop the video that I made, the song, and give you a shout out. What's going on, Sigma MGTOW's in the house. My apologies, gentlemen. It's been a long fucking week and shit. How we gonna go about this stuff out here? Let's shotgun to the dome. What's going on, Sigma? What's going on, Polka out there in Chicago? Alex, how you doing, Alex, out there? I don't know where you're from. So let's continue here briefly, because, I got to do this thing, I don't know. I'm out here trying to figure this thing out, or not trying to figure things out, but eventually everything works out at the end. So let's continue with bar, because, Bar, he was like one of the first pioneers of this shit, right? When it comes down to the philosophy. And he was 100% correct back then. And now, if you look at these chicks nowadays, how they dress, how they act, how they got multiple tattoos and bamboos, earlobes, and shit like that, especially in my state, they look like fucking crazy maniacs. So they really fucking knew. Let's continue here for another minute. And the only reason I'm playing Bar for, those newbies out there, they decide to go their own way and just check out the philosophy. It's like a little seed that we can implement in the men thought. Because men gonna be men, they're gonna fuck pussy and shit like that. And they're gonna go crazy and bananas and do all kinds of catering and simping and shit like that for chicks and shit like that. That's what it is. I mean, you can blame men who they are, and you cannot blame women who they are, because that's nature. But the thing about us that we are, we understand how women and men behave in different aspects, especially when it comes down to the MGTOW philosophy. But I digress. Let me play another minute two here, and I'm going to get into these fuckface talking about. He was talking about women over 40s. They had this sweet pussy, literally.
When we look at women, men are suspicious and cautious and frankly want as little to do with women as possible. And when men want as little to do with something as possible, we strict down our interaction with it to the necessities, which means that men generally only want to be around women for as long as it takes to fuck them. And feminism and the women who practice it are to blame, not men. Feminism made women absolutely unbearable to be around and impossible to form lasting bonds with, and so by default, men categorized you as nothing but the very sex objects feminists claim that patriarchy labeled you as. That's why the Western woman is so intent on making sure everybody notices her outfit that showed just enough ass and tits for plausible deniability. At work, on the street, in the supermarket, at the DMV, at Blockbuster, and everywhere else. Because sex is all they are. They have nothing else. Ass and tits and painted up faces that make them look like clowns and heels that make them look taller than what they really are. That's all they have left. Now some of the more...
Let's give big shout out to my man out there. Big shout out to Bar, for heaven's sake. He's doing his MGTOW shit, Big shout out. Where's my horn? Where's my fucking horn? Yeah, he was correct back then. Like, 10 years ago and stuff like that. But I digress. So, the reason I'm putting this video out here, because, there's a difference between TikTokers, the TikTokers, idiots, morons, and us YouTubers, whatever, right? And the TikTokers, they doing some dumb shit and stuff like that. He's popular out there. Me, myself, I don't own no TikTok. I don't want the Chinese to search me. It's bad enough that Google is already looking at my shit. I don't want the Chinese and all kinds of nonsense and shit. Call me a conspiracy theory. I don't give a fuck. I don't want to put my dad out there. But I do have friends and Facebook and still collect data and shit like that, And when he put some video out there, I was like, oh, this can be MGTOW related shit that I can express out here in YouTube with his data collection and stuff like that and so on and so forth. I'm not naive for the situation was taking place, but I digress. So this, so far with TikTok, they got a lot of people out there, especially young people, expressing themselves, which is good. I believe in the First Amendment. People can do whatever the fuck they want to do, express themselves. Don't censor them like I've been censoring this platform. But do you, and at least trying to tell the truth. TikTok is like nothing but nonsense and bullshit and people doing crazy shit and stuff like that. And some people, it's the new what they call the new fad. It's the fad. It's cracking lacking for the last 3 years and shit. But I digress. So let's go back to the MGTOW philosophy. All right. This so-called gentleman out there, he got this channel. I don't know how many subscribers he got out there in TikTok. like I said previously, one of my friends put this stuff out there on my personal Facebook and shit like that. And I thought to myself, this guy, he's a fucking fool. He's a fucking idiot. He's doing the opposite. What is the whole thing about women nature? To be honest, because you have to be honest. It's just men, we have our own nature, and women have their own nature. Once you understand the nature between men and women, then you understand yourself. And women, we understand themselves. But once you take the element out of the nature, which you cannot, don't try to tell me that a 40-year-old woman pussy is better than a 21-year-old woman vagina or pussy. So let me play this soundbite because it goes against everything that we believe, right? Once a woman hit 29, 30, that's the wall. It's the wall. It's one-on-one Tom Likas. If they got pregnant at this age of 21, 22 and stuff like that, well, it's just like pretty much, how you call this? It's a lost cause for men, in my view, right? It's nature. That's what it is. Now, let's say she don't have no children or anything like that, but she rode a cock carousel for many years until she like 29 and stuff like that. Same thing. Now, I'm not saying that any chick should be a virgin till they're 29. It is what it is because due to society and everybody having, men and women having sex early at 15, 14 and shit, they fucking stuff, and that's in the teens, that's before 29. So the lifespan of a chick is smaller than a man due to the nature. That's, yes, chick natures. That's how it is. So let me play you this soundbite here so you don't think I'm just bullshitting with you. And just bear with me because I'm looking this shit up briefly. And this guy, I don't know how many subscribers he got out there on TikTok, but his point of view is so asinine. And then he talking about in Africa, they Africans and stuff like that. So I have to give them a little bit of, a pass. Because probably they know the nature of women in Africa. But I don't think they realize the nature of Western women and the whole society has devolved in the last 50 years. But he's still trying to say it's okay to have either relationship or have sex with a woman with children and stuff like that, because at the age of 40 the pussy gets sweeter, according to him. So let me play you this soundbite here. Just bear with me, okay, gentlemen. Just bear with me. Let me see if I can find it here real quick. Oh, I sure did. So let me uninterrupted. And this is just two podcasters talking with each other in TikTok about the pussy literally gets sweeter for women after 40. Literally. And then I'm going to debunk what these idiots said. So no further ado, let's play this here. Oh, my apologies. My bad. Hold on. Something happened. See, something happened here. Just bear with me.
Texture and how it feels.
Hold on.
Structure of it. And the vagina starts to mature between 29 for early bloomers and 35 for late bloomers.
Really?
Yes, and that's why you find
Mature.
women mature in regards to the structure of it and then the texture and how it feels. And that's why you find women who are in their 40s will always have tastier vaginas than women in their 20s.
Tastier.
And
Tastier.
the people who can confirm this are the younger guys who are going for the older women who are apparently called cougars. These are facts. These are just facts.
They've just realized that that's where the gold is.
Yes, but now the problem is the men who are supposed to be viewing this older, mature woman as that seductive woman who has endless passion and taste, they have a different perception. They called her my wife, mother of my children. And you know what happens to a lot of African men when they go down that road? You start looking at her different. She's no longer your sex kitten or your playmate. She's now your respectable woman in the house. She's the house manager, and you go out to look for money. She's also looking for money as well, because women also do their thing. But now your perception of her changes over time. When other men are still looking...
Talk a little bit more about that.
As other men are looking at her like, God damn, that woman is sexy. It doesn't matter whether she has 3 kids, 6 kids, but for you, because she has 3 kids, the sexiness in her has left. You don't find her unattractive. You just don't find her sexually attractive. You love this woman. She's your pal. You actually hug when you go to sleep. You wake up, you kiss her forehead, whatever you do. But the sex has minused because your perception of her has changed. And that will not change in our sitting rooms unless we change our old-fashioned traditions. It's very unfortunate, but today I meet girls who are 25. She was married when she was 21. If you ask her husband, that 25-year-old, she's been categorized like the auntie and the mother. She's in that category. Yet that guy is 32.
And yet she has not matured, like you say.
Exactly. But other men are looking at her like she's still 21. Even a woman who's 38 who has kids. Other men are looking at her, you are flavored pussy. I want you. But the husband's going like, no. That's my wife. Respectable woman.
You know, I can understand where he's coming from. So let's put this in respect. Let's be fair about the situation, right? They're probably out there in Africa doing a podcast and shit like that. That shit don't apply to us out here. It doesn't. It really doesn't, because due to the fact that Western society have gave the women so much empowerment with the divorce courts and so on and so forth, right? We talked about this many years, for since God, I never been married, but I experienced this myself, going to the family court and doing all this shit. And the pussy itself, it becomes sour. Once you have a child with a chick, the pussy's sour. Now that pussy will take the child from the father and go out there with that pussy and find another man who's willing to raise somebody else's kids and just have a little bit of pussy. Right? And that pussy just keep moving and moving and moving from the time of 21 to 29 to 30 to 40. That pussy keep moving. Whoever idiot want to deal with this situation and shit like that, they do that, right? So another scenario, is, let's say, the pussy never got pregnant, right? And the chick is 29, right? Because 29 is a sweet spot. That's what we call the wall is 30. And you got to bear in mind that chicks, they always got attention between the age of 13 to like pretty much 29. Attention. Men look at her, they want to do this and stuff like that and whatever, right? That's the deadline. Once 30 comes about, 29 and 30, then the whole thing change for chicks. It really does. It really does. It changes. It just change it. It goes like this, boom. And they go into these mindsets. And also you gotta bear in mind biological women's sex drive hits 29, 30. Men, we in the teens. When our sex drive develops. It's just biology 101 between men and women. I don't know what this guy talking about. I don't have one iota what the fuck he's talking about. Because I know the data for fact, okay? The wall hits 30. If you listen to him, what he was saying, by the age of 29 and 40 and stuff like that and shit, is asinine. It's bullshit. Bullshit. Utter nonsense. Verbal diarrhea. Women have an expiration date. 30. 29, 30. After that, especially nowadays, and I'm talking about sexually wise, attractive wise, stuff like that, where men can provide for them and so on and so forth, right? Not, there's no, him himself was like, oh, women can be 40, have 3 kids and so forth. No, dude. No. You can't tell me as a 45-year-old man that I look a 40-year-old chick more attractive as a 25-year-old chick. No, you can't tell me that shit. Even though the 25 and the 42 is like poisonous, pick your poison. Do I find more attractive a 25-year-old chick than a 42-year-old chick? Fuck yes, I do. It's in my fucking nature. Now let's put this in perspective. Just hypothetical speaking, right? And this is my choice, right? My choice. And I got 2 chicks. Do I want to fuck the 41 or 42-year-old chick or the 25-year-old chick? And they put it in my face and stuff like that. And I look. I'm not going to choose a fucking 42. I choose a 25. Why? She's younger. She's healthier. Different thinking and shit. Now, I'm not even going to go to the intellectual about it, but physically, it's more attractive to me. It's nature. You cannot fight nature. That's how we're built. That's how it's built, man. You can change who you are. You can fight who you are. You can fight you know you can do different things. But at the end of the day, and I'm looking at this stuff in a whole different situation, right? Like a scenario. Matter of fact, I'll tell you the truth. Half of these chicks in my age, they crazy. All chicks are crazy, by the way. The older they get, the more miserable they are. There were some women are not happy. They're miserable. They are, for the last 30 years. Tom Likas used to say this shit. Check out, when you go out there and pump and dump, check out for antidepressant. That's a red sign. That's a red flag. That's a red flag. It's a red, When you look at the data and stuff like that, like 50 to 60% of women are some kind of antidepressant. Above 30. You know? I don't put those numbers on. I did not make the game. I did not make the game, my friends. I'm just here trying to puzzle together the game. That's it. All I'm doing is expressing myself and trying to correlate what's been going on for the last 40-something years with women and men in Western society. That's it. When I say this guy talking about this stuff out there, right? Maybe that 40-year-old pussy applies out there in Africa. Because I don't have a clue if they're in the United States or in Africa, But I listen to it, right? That do not apply out here in the Western world. No fucking way. There's no 40-year-old woman that pussy sweeter than a fucking 20-something. And they have kids. They got divorced and shit. No, actually, it's more. They have taken so many fucking cocks that it's not sweeter. It's demolished. They take so many cock in their ass and shit and pussy and their mouth and shit. Yeah, it is sweet. Because everybody been in that motherfucker. To be honest. There you go. I debunked that shit real quick. Like we say, riding the cock carousel. And that's what they do. They ride that cock carousel and cock carousel and cock carousel, take it everywhere. And then expect the men to marry them with 2 kids. or whatever. Shit. No kids at 29, but they fucking they rode a cock carousel from here to Virginia to Georgia to Australia to Germany. They went traveling and riding cock carousel everywhere. Sweet. This sweet pussy of 40. Give me a fucking break, motherfucker. It's like saying my dick is sweet. Well, I have fucked so many bitches I can't even count. Oh, my dick is very sweet. It's asinine. It's fucking asinine. My dick has been in all kinds of holes more than a rat. Well, gentlemen, you know me. I got to go to the grind and do my own thing. But like I was saying, man, hold on. Who's in the house? Let me give you a shout out. For heaven's sake. Oh, my God. My bad. And we got a few folks out here. You understand that I'm out here in a third-party app out here. Just bear with me. God damn it, MGTOW. You hairy, bald motherfuckers. Just bear with me out there, And my deepest apologies, those who's driving out there on the road, listen to KDR, Kendall Rican podcast out there. And you out there driving and listening to my ass rumbling about make talk shit and stuff like that. But that's what I do, And that's why when the write me comes like, hey, man, I listen to your podcast, man, when I'm driving, and it's cool, it's real, it's raw, and I like it. Keep doing what you do, but I'm sorry I can't do that because I don't have that much time to do the podcast or the walk and talk and stuff like that. But here, since we're here in the West Coast, and the time is 12 o'clock in the morning. So here we go. We are 12 o'clock, shotgun to the dawn. Let's see y'all here. And please forgive me if I miss your comment and stuff like that. We got, hey, what's going on, AP30 in the house? How we going? Let's go. No, my bad, AP30. Shit. We go with the horn. We go with the horn. Hey, Eric's the crocodile. Out there. Eric, what's going on, Eric? Shotgun to the dawn. Going down the list. Is that you changed your name, huh? Jason. The masked Jason. Yeah, fuck this shit. We're gonna drop the bombs. The bombs. Here we go. Mr. Rig, what's going on, Mr. Rig? The bomb. Ghost. Yeah, the ghost killer. Well, anyway, gentlemen. Like I always say, peace, stay mental. I definitely catch you next podcast, live stream, or video. Let God, let the universe be with you. I'm out.